Hello, everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Zach. I'm one of the founders here at Carbon Collective, and welcome to this week's video digest. We put together these video digests because we personally love video, and it gives us a chance to talk directly to you and share why we're excited about the news that we're sharing and potentially do a little bit of teaching. So we begin all of these by welcoming our new members. So there were many of you in between this last newsletter. So just to throw a few out, Lindsay, Ben, Anna, Nick, Jason, Stephen, Hannah, Jessica, Adam, Charlie, welcome to Carbon Collective. We are so grateful to have you here. So before we get to the articles, we want to actually take a look at how did the Carbon Collective portfolio do over the last 2 months since we launched it. So we launched the Carbon Collective portfolio on October 18th, 2020. What we're looking at here is an 80% stock, 20% bond portfolio. This is our bold portfolio. As we can see, prior to the election, things went down, and with the election, things went up. So how did it do compared to the rest of the stock market? So we can actually go ahead and compare it to an index of 80% stocks and 20% bonds. And what we can see is that it looks like our portfolios have largely hit our goal. We can see that it tracked the market fairly closely. We have the same patterns of behavior, with our portfolios doing a little bit better. If we want to look back just over the last month, we can see again a similar pattern of tracking the market, the same patterns with again our portfolios doing better. And then even just over the past week, the market was down. So we're working on our newsletter to actually have these numbers in every single update so you can see them. But until then, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Okay, on to the articles. This is so cool. We are always looking for creative ways in which you can have a climate impact. And one of the things that we are often told is really bad for climate change, because it often is beef. Cows, they burp a lot, and they burp methane. And methane is a greenhouse gas that's 25 times more impactful than carbon dioxide. It's not great. That's what we hear. Cows are bad for climate. And like pretty much everything in the world, it's more complicated than that. Actually, cows are a really important part of the solution to climate change. We have a lot of grasslands here in the US and in many countries. And grasslands, if you kind of imagine to the old days with the bison, they co-evolved with ruminants, these big herds of ruminants going and munching up the grass in these tight formations because they have a lot of predators around them. So they did it for safety. And so that's how you have a really healthy grassland. It actually needs these tight herds of bison or cows going through them. And when that happens, it actually builds carbon back into the soil. And so how we raise cows today doesn't do that. We often do it in like very lazy methods in which we erect a fence and then let the cows just roam free. And they kind of keep everything kind of shorn in the grasses. It actually degrades the soil and removes carbon. So there are a number of farms in the country that are doing the opposite. They're doing it the more intensive, but really amazing way. And one of them is this farm here, White Oak Pastures. Their beef, it has been studied, it is actually carbon negative. So this is how it works. This farm has 3,200 acres on it, and they rotate the cows in a given space every 3 days. Through it. And so that allows the grasslands to actually recover. So the cows come in and they like clod it up and they make a lot of grooves in the soil and they poop a lot and then they leave. And so the grass can actually recover. And that enables the soil health and the microbiology of it and the carbon that gets sequestered in it to also recover as well. It's really cool. So if you want to learn more about how this all works, PopSci had a really good article on this, so check it out. That's linked below. Okay, article number 2. Article number 2 is a video that we put together. You guys had a lot of questions about how we build your climate-friendly portfolio, and so we wanted to put together a video. We have a lot of this written on our website, and so we wanted to put together a video that's a little bit more digestible of exactly how we do it. We put some pretty neat graphics in it, so check it out if you have any questions. This is not something that you need to be a financial expert for by any means. Our goal in building our portfolios was to build something that was simple and straightforward. So if you're curious at all about how we build our portfolios, check this out. Article number 3, the New York State Pension Fund, which is one of the largest in the world, has just announced that it will be divesting from its fossil fuel holdings. Why is this exciting? This is exciting. This is like a very large amount of money that is going to be moving away from fossil fuels. The pressures on these companies to change from their investors is only going to be mounting as this continues. But what it signifies is that the New York State Pension Fund has historically been very conservative and has not been very receptive to the divestment movement. And this is a little bit of a momentum shift. We have yet another very large fund divesting for financial reasons. And as you know, we believe that a lot of where the winds blow in investing is based upon narrative. It's based upon investing as our collective ideas of what we think the future is going to hold. So this bodes, we think, well, both for our Carbon Collective portfolios, but very much so for the pressures that we need to be put on fossil fuels, on the fossil fuel industry to change. What would be awesome and what we need to continue pressuring funds like New York's pension fund is to take those money that they're divesting and invest it in solutions. So one of those solutions brings us to our last and final article, which is about school buses. So one of the challenges of having a 100% zero carbon grid is that we can make a lot of solar power, and it's the cheapest form of energy around now. We can make a lot of wind power, but we can't always do it exactly when we want. So in order for us to have a grid that is powered 100% by solar, we need a lot of batteries. The problem with batteries is that they're really expensive. And so if we can pair things, so a battery can be used to drive a car or a bus. If we can pair that and allow us to store energy on that battery, say during the day when the sun is shining, that could be really exciting. And so what's really exciting about school buses in this proposition is an electric school bus is just a giant battery on wheels, and it's only used twice a day, and it's sitting there when it's the sunniest. It's used in the morning, so you don't have peak solar then, and it's used in the afternoon where you might have some peak solar, but aside from that, it's just a large battery that can be charged on solar and then store that solar so that the grid, when the sun goes down, we could use that to power at night. So we try to highlight places where we see creativity in the solutions to climate change, and this is definitely one of them. So thank you so much for watching these. Please let us know if you find these are useful, if you have feedback for us. We really like filming them, but we would like to know how that we can improve. Stay tuned. We will give you one more update before the end of the year, and hope that everyone has a great December.